Hey everyone, Radhe Radhe. My name is Ayan Pasha and today we'll be learning about another important topic of the Kubernetes and cloud native domain, that is the observability. It is one of the most important track the whole cloud native and Kubernetes domain, and a particular event or the global summit that usually happens or takes place in the whole world. They usually have this particular track as well, observability. So what do we mean by observability? What are some of its parts, some of its core components as well? We'll be talking about all of them. Continuing our playlist, I'll be explaining about the complex topics in a much more easier and simplified way if I'm explaining it to a 5 years old kid. So in this particular section as well, let's take another example where let's say we're talking about my life. So let's say when it comes to the monitoring is a kind of a process by which from our example I can look at the behavior, in whatever way she's been, behaving at the moment. That's all comes under the monitoring part. I can monitor, I can see how she's behaving at the moment, how she's replying, what are some of its, the behavior patterns and all of them. I can monitor all of those particular things and then act accordingly. So that's the monitoring part. And another one is the logging part. So when it comes to the logging is a much more detailed version. Like we have to look at the logs, the history as well, or any particular past events that might have happened. Any particular, she's been mad or she's kind of upset. She's not saying anything. She's not complaining either, but she's looking kind of upset. So I like to, kind of inspect what's going on at the moment. So I'll need some external help as well. So that comes under the monitoring part. So in our example, let's say it yeah the previous festival was Valentine's. So let's say I'm talking about my wife. So let's say I got married. So I thought that we should celebrate Valentine's and all of this stuff. So it's kind of more aligned towards the boyfriend girlfriend kind of relationship, and we are much more ahead of all of those particular things. So let's say I don't want to I didn't celebrate it, but she was kind of preparing for a lot for that particular thing. So she got upset, a bit kind of an upset, and that really I didn't got that particular kind of I didn't catch her emotions as well. So my monitoring failed at that moment. But then here comes the logging part. So I got to see about the logs as well, about the history logs and all those particular events that might have happened. So I need some external agents, external help or services at the moment to look what happened, why she's getting upset. I don't know that she was upset about Valentine's. So in this case, external services or the external agents could be, let's say it could be our kid, our daughter, or maybe my own mother, who usually spend a lot of time with my wife. So she could be really helpful in that particular scenario. Or else my sister-in-law also talks a lot with her sister. Obviously she would be calling her or might get to talk with her on to certain topics. So my wife might get a little bit more open towards her, tell some more secrets or tell some more things that she might have felt because of my own action. So I can take help of my sister-in-law as well. So I can ask from her what happened, and if she might have got some kind of an imbalance or some kind of some uncertain behavioral change at the moment. So it could be caught at that moment, and then she can tell that yeah, that happened at the moment. Or either if she also doesn't know anything about it, then I can track and dive more deep into certain actions that my wife might have uh, you know done in previous while talking to her. Like for example, let's say I can filter all those particular emotions and ask if she was mad due to some kind of at any particular moment. So in that way the emotions can be filtered and I can get in more details about the logs part. So in the same way logging could be done, and in the similar way various different commands has been adopted in the whole cloud native in the Kubernetes landscape as well, to look at the pods as well as onto the nodes and various networking policies and all of those particular things as well, so that we can look out for the troubleshooting part. Now, like in the example, she might have got mad, or she might have got upset, so I'll have to move forward with the troubleshooting part as well. So yeah, that's the whole scenario. And by looking at these kind of patterns, I can design certain kind of patterns and kind of a reflection or reaction of mine of my own. So that particular thing is usually said as an event-driven architecture. According to the events that has been triggered in the real life, your actions would be triggered, that what I have to do at the moment. Like uh, suddenly, if she's laughing and all, and suddenly she got taking a lot of pauses, start taking a lot of pauses, and she's not laughing anymore, or she's expressing a lot, like the latency increased in tactical or the nerdy kind of a way. So the latency increased, so she might get upset, or maybe kind of the mood swings kind of thing. So, or she might get triggered due to some kind of a statement that I might have given in the past. So that, or she might be planning something, and my own statements were kind of got opposite to the whole stream of the emotions that were actually moving at the moment in the whole conversation. So it could be that kind of a thing. So it could be event-driven architecture. Event-driven architecture would push me to change my own, and look at my own again, go back and look at all these notes, all those particular statements that I gave just now, and act accordingly, and say something that could make her happy, or go align with her own feelings as well. So those are the event-driven architecture. Event-driven architecture usually includes the auto-scaling part as well. Those have various different tools at the moment, like the KIDA. KIDA is Kubernetes event-driven architecture, that is helpful in horizontal scaling of the pods and nodes. What do we mean by horizontal scaling? There are two kinds of scalings, that is horizontal, and the other one is the node, the vertical scaling of the pods and nodes. Horizontal usually includes the incrementing, or increasing and decreasing of the pods and nodes according to our own needs, while on the other hand, vertical scaling usually includes the increasing or decreasing of the CPU and the memory without getting engaged with nodes, and with changing the number of nodes and pods in the whole cluster at the moment. So that's kind of different. And the horizontal scaling, that is the KIDA, usually helps in decreasing the latency as well. Latency is a huge thing at the moment in this particular situation as well, whichever I took at the moment. So yeah, KIDA is really good in that particular scenario. So that's the whole thing. Logging usually takes place by what happens. Logging usually monitors and catch any particular status that might have changed at the moment in the whole cluster, and then store that particular time, that particular status, that behavior as well of the whole cluster, output that might have happened, and the whole input or the previous action that I might have taken, because of which that particular thing happened, that particular action might have triggered in the whole cluster. So, and then all those particular information are actually being stored in the memory, so that I can view it later in future, whenever I want to getting engaged with the logging part of the observability. That's all. So the kubectl is responsible kubectl is in kind of an inbuilt component of the whole Kubernetes architecture. Kubelet, not kubectl. Kubelet usually listens to the kube API server instructions and act accordingly. Kubelet also has a C container, which helps in in monitoring and logging of the whole cluster at the moment. So yeah, that's the whole thing. That's the whole explanation of logging, observability, and monitoring. There are various other tools as well, which are Prometheus, Grafana, Datadog, Lens ID. I'm the developer advocate at Lens ID. So there are various different tools and observability services as well that are available in the whole cloud native landscape, that can help you in auto scaling and acting according to the the changes that might have happened in the whole architecture or the application and cluster of your own. So that's it. Yeah, thanks. Radhe Radhe. Jai Siya Ram.